I am Jim. Hello, everybody. I am in the professional rock band Jimmy world, and we're really excited to be coming to town to rock out.
Thanks for joining us today, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Jimmy will touch down in Australia next month for a run of shows with My Chemical Romance. So what delights have you guys got in store for us?
Oh, man. You know, we were 3 days away from coming to Australia right before COVID shut everything down. So our gear got a round trip ticket to Australia and back, but we never made it. And we were particularly sad about that because we were really looking forward to playing. Australia is one of my favorite places to go. It's one of my favorite places to play, and it was just on top of everything else that happened, that was really hard, to be so close to coming over and playing, and then what happened after that. So there's a lot of pent up energy we gotta get rid of, and fulfill our 2-year mission finally.
A lot to make up for. That's gonna be awesome. and you guys were handpicked by My Chemical Romance for this tour. So what have you got over them, mate?
What have we got over on them? Well, if I told you, then they could kick us off and put on someone that they really wanted to have. The shakedown wouldn't work if I told you what we have on them. Yeah, I don't know, man. We're just really grateful. I mean, they're an amazing live band. They're super cool people. Gerard is like one of the most creative people in the scene, in my opinion, and it's just it's amazing to watch them work, and we couldn't be happier.
And it'll be your first visit here for about 6 years, mate. So what has changed with the band and your live show since the last time you were here?
Oh, man. Well, I think one thing that feels different now than, I mean, it's hard, it's a hard question to answer sometimes, because I'm with me all the time.
Yeah,
I don't get the comparison, the control group to like compare or contrast. But I do feel like recently, within the last year, it's definitely our the opportunity to even do this at all is just it has such more weight for me personally. I mean, yeah, I guess sort of in the past, we've had opportunities and we've done tours, and we've been really fortunate to be in front of large audiences or really great rooms of people, and we've just sort of like looked at it like, okay, here's where we are tonight, let's do this, let's have fun, and that's that, which I guess isn't exactly wrong, but now it's just I don't know, the enormity of what we get to do is just such a, I don't know, it just has a lot more weight to it, I guess would be my first answer. Is probably the better answer and the shorter answer. It just has a lot more weight to it, and really try to focus on what's happening and stay present in the moment and kind of like soak it up. You know what I mean? Because like it ends, and it's not up to you when it ends.
Yeah.
So
right.
you gotta just be there and take it for everything that can possibly exist in the moment when you're performing and when you're playing and you're getting to make a connection with people, and especially around the world. It's not everyone gets a chance to do that, so
No.
I owe it especially to myself to just take it all in and really let it in.
Yeah, sure. And last year you released your first music since the 2019's album Surviving, when you put out Something Loud and Place Your Debt. So did you find in a way you sort of had to tap back into your market after 3 years, or was the band sort of stayed loyal?
Man, I think over the years we've focused on just chasing ideas that we're excited about. I feel I've always felt that if you're the fastest way to turn people off is to be chasing their approval. So trying to, you know what I mean? Like if something feels desperate, it is desperate, and it's not, I mean, it's really hard to build a connection with that when you pick up on it. So we've just chased the ideas we're excited about and unapologetically made them into our records that we put out. And Something Loud, Place Your Debts, I think those are two songs that just kind of showcase everything that we do as a group that we're excited about, you know. Like there's this guitar rock thing that we you know is in our DNA at this point, that this is part of who we are. You know, like Something Loud, and then kind of more exploring like forget about the guitar thing and just chase the environment, chase the mood, chase this kind of stream of consciousness thing inside of you. You know, that's the Place Your Debt side. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it is getting back to, you know, reminding our fans who we are, you know, but by putting the most like honest version of us we can out there.
Yeah, cool. And I noticed in the press release it said that you didn't start writing again until you're able to actually get back out on the road and tour. So was that because you maybe lost your passion a little bit during COVID, or did you sort of find it difficult to find inspiration during lockdown?
Maybe a little bit of both. It's, you know, it wasn't exactly the most inspiring year.
Anyone, no.
You know, it was just kind of, you know, it was literally like, you know, if you can get by without having a major emotional meltdown for that whole entire time, like good on you. That's success enough right there. I don't know. I think once we got a chance to perform in front of people, like that's such a big part of who we are and what we do and what this playing music thing has been about, that it's just, we started to feel normal again. You know what I mean? Like there was a rhythm, there was a purpose to it. There was like, you know, an exchange between us and the listener, you know, that you could feel in the moment. It was just, you know, it was invigorating and inspiring. The experience itself was inspiring.
Yeah.
Everything started to come together more quickly after that.
Yeah, I can imagine it. So, but let's go back to the start of Jimmy World, mate. Like, you guys formed back in 1993. So, what was the musical climate like that gave birth to the band, and where did you fit in initially?
Let's see. When we started, the musical climate, I mean, it was pretty local. You know, we were really interested in, you know, we were. This is like when we started the band, it was like basically the first time any of us were in a real band. You know, like we got, you know, and all of our friends were in other bands, and we would like, you know, set up local shows on the weekends and during the week, and, you know, try to help other bands on tour, setting up gigs for them. And it was just a real communal nature. It was very do-it-yourself, very you know, punk in like the truest sense of it all. Not a lot of outside support, you know, like it was kids basically trying to put on shows wherever we could. And, you know, sometimes that led to like questionable venues, you know, of uncertain legality. You know, like an art space would pop up for like 8 months and then get shut down. And like in that window, we would have like as many gigs as we possibly could with us and our friends and other people on tour. I mean, that's what I remember about the start of the band. It was very, you know, we're in Arizona where we're from. It's not exactly the most hip happening music scene, or at least it definitely wasn't back then. So anybody doing it it wasn't, I mean, there was no hope of financial, there was no financial motivation for anything. And there was no like celebrity motivation for anything because no one cared, you know, like literally no one cared except for you and the people around you. So you were doing it to be a part of that. You're doing
Yeah.
that to make something cool for yourself and to be part of a close-knit scene of people.
So what would you say your early vision was for the band back then, and how has it changed since?
I think our loftiest goal that we had back then was maybe doing a gig outside of our home state.
Wow.
Like if we can set up a gig like in California somewhere, that'd be rad. You know,
Oh,
that'd be
wow.
so cool. Or if we could maybe like go, you know, play a couple of gigs, like, you know, go on a tour. I mean, that'd be insane. You know, but we always had like these kind of like realistic short to medium term goals for ourselves. Um a- and you know, I guess that was the right thing to do because those things would give us motivation to work for the next kind of short-term thing. And before you know it, you know, we're making an album and we're getting in contact with people to go play in Europe for the first time. You know, like I don't know. It's just it's kind of funny to think about that.
Yeah, yeah, it would be good to look back on it.
Yeah.
And all of you've released 10 albums now, mate. So how would you say your sound has changed since your self-titled debut to the surviving album?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I think when you start out, when everybody starts out, like what you're doing is kind of like it's sort of mimicking your record collection.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're trying to put your spin. It's basically you're kind of like taking your record collection in your head and imagining yourself as a karaoke version of that, you know, and like kind of putting yourself into your record collection, and that's kind of like how your music starts. Um, and then I think once you get to know the other people you're working with, like in my case, like my bandmates, you know, like you start to develop like shortcuts in a way, you know, like when you know one person kind of likes to go this way when there's a challenge and when there's a puzzle that you're trying to solve, like writing a song or, you know, how does this go into this? And you start to know where the other people's strengths are, and then slowly you get something that feels less like your record collection and more like your voice. Um, you know, it's something that you're saying from, I mean, your record collection is always there. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm still like subconsciously ripping off my record collection. Um, maybe just now my record collection is way more diverse than it was. I had the library of, I basically have everything ever in the history of recorded music in my pocket at all times. So my record collection is like way more diverse.
That is a very good way of putting it, mate. That's brilliant. Good. All right, mate. Well, that's all I've got for you today, Jim. So thanks very much for your time. Jimmy World will be here with My Chemical Romance in March 2023. So have yourself a lovely tour, mate, and we might catch you at the Brisbane show.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate
All
it.
right. Enjoy the rest of your day, my man.